You have to be professional now, guys.
Professional. No
Act
cursing,
like you're in an
Nnamdi.
interview. Act like you're in an interview.
No cursing, Nnamdi.
You know, Avery, I've noticed over the weeks that I think you're great at the unintentional segues.
Am I?
Because the first thing I was gonna introduce here could make me curse because it was so upsetting.
Well, what
And
was
I
that?
think you know where I'm taking this. So Kid Cudi's Man on the Moon 3 came out, right? Highly
Guys, all
long
listen.
anticipated, highly awaited. I don't know if you've all listened. Well, who have you listened to it? Did everyone listen to a couple tracks?
Gave it.
I've only heard it all the way through once. But yeah.
Well, same here, which is fine, but
It's a long album too.
Pitchfork gave it a 4.9, a 4.9 out of 10, and that just felt like that's a 49 out of 100.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
was
a-
low.
That's an F.
That's an F.
You gotta retake the class. Yeah.
Yeah. Twitter
They were
was
like, the
yeah.
dude was like mean in the review too. He was like, he's just coasting off
no.
nostalgia.
Yeah, he said he's coasting and living off of past glories, essentially.
and look, I texted you guys the day it came out, and I think I was like, I wish we could review this album. I took that back after spending some time with the album, but I still don't think it was a 4.9.
I don't think it was that bad.
It's
No.
definitely not that bad.
4.9 is like we said, an F. Yeah.
It's like Justin Bieber
It's really
changes,
low.
man.
Yeah. Like
Okay,
I read
so-
the review and I was like, what did this guy like out of the album? I wasn't sure.
It's like,
I follow the guy who reviewed it on Twitter, and after it was published, he said, "Back to loving all music."
oh my god.
Does he usually get good reviews? I don't see that's on Pitchfork. I don't really pay attention who's reviewing it. I just like read it sometimes. I have to pay attention who's reviewing it.
Oh, that is true.
You
Because
know?
it's like, what do you like? If that
What
was
do you like? Exactly.
9, like, sheesh.
It's like if you get that 4.9, would you give changes?
Well, no. What would you have given Man on the Moon 3?
Man on the Moon. I'm gonna 6.5.
That's still an F, but I think it's a better F.
That's a D. That's a D.
Oh, okay, true.
A strong, a lot like 6.5. That's one listen though, so yeah.
Yeah.
I was definitely around like a 7. I enjoyed it. It's good.
Same. I hovered between like a 6.5 on it.
It was lower.
That's,
before.
I love Passion Pain and Demon Slaying. So like I'm a fan.
Ash and Pain. That's a cool name. I love that name.
That's part of the album. It's the name.
Grant, I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but if you had to give it a score, what do you think it would be?
Yeah. I'd probably join like the 6.5 bandwagon
yeah.
we've established.
Yeah,
I don't think it's 4.9. That's really low. But I don't
Bad. I was like,
don't think it's one of the best albums of the year in my opinion.
Oh.
But, like,
yeah.
I don't think it's like terrible.
Well,
I was happy with it. I was like, okay, Kid Cudi's putting out good music. I
It
think.
just sounded like a Kid
Yeah.
Cudi album. It's fine,
yeah.
But Kid Cudi, if you're listening, know that we would have at least given you a 6.5. So maybe.
He might. Victoria did like our tweet, and Spilligian. I mean, we
You're true.
telling y'all.
Cool, y'all. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the 97 Demo Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Nnamdi Igwanwu, joined by my two friends.
Noah McGee.
Oh.
Oh, my bad.
3 friends.
Three friends.
No, I'm not a friend.
Oh,
2.5. No, 3 friends.
He's a friend. Yeah. Noah McGee. What's up, guys?
My name is Avery, and we have our newly degreed and newly employed friend here.
Second
Mr.
degree, not first.
Second
Get it right.
Second degree.
Second degree. Second degree.
Agreed.
Would you like to introduce yourself, Grant?
Sure. Hi. I'm the acquaintance, Grant. Yeah. Also,
What do you do, Grant? What do you do? Tell the people what you do.
I am a freelance music writer.
Okay.
I've written for MTV News, Spin, The Ringer, Consequence of Sound, etc. And that's really about it. And now I do video game news at Screen Rant.
There you go.
Grant, what are some of the
Congratulations.
albums or artists you have spoken to or reviewed this year?
This year I talked to Phoebe Bridgers, Bright Eyes, Matt Berninger, Tiny. I think that's about it.
That's pretty good.
I can't remember, but Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Grant's
And I feel like
official.
it's the perfect like explanation as to why Grant was literally the perfect person to actually come on this week.
Well, thank you.
And we respect his opinion.
And we respect his opinion. That's the biggest part because he put out his list of 15 top 15 albums, and I looked at it and I listened to like basically all of it, and I was like, yeah, this guy's got it.
This guy got it. Exactly. So yeah.
But yeah, this week we're doing we're continuing our best of 2020 series. We're doing top alternative rock albums, not like alternative rock as in one, but alternative / rock albums. We'll get to our list of nearly 40 in a second. But before we do that, let's go ahead and run through some of our headlines this week. This one was really cool, and I wanted to shout it out. Lil Baby and I want to say Steven Jackson is his name.
Oh, Steven Jackson, the basketball player. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They threw a birthday party for George Floyd's daughter, Gianna, which I thought was super cool. Steven Jackson says he was really cool with George Floyd growing up, I guess, and like promised the family that he'd be like a father figure, and like I guess he's living up to his word. And then she got Lil Baby at her birthday, and which is like a flex. So
Yeah. I remember that because I remember Steven Jackson was like at the forefront, not the forefront, but he was like really there talking about it. George Floyd was from Houston, I believe, right? And I think they grew up together in Houston. So
yeah, he was at the funerals. I think both in Minneapolis and in.
Yeah, he was. Oh yeah, because they had like a public one, then they had like the family one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool to see. It's really nice. Lil Baby's killing this year, helping out people. So
He's killing
so yeah.
Shout out Lil Baby. Shout out Lil Baby. Yeah, but it's not shout. In case you're listening, like you're good in our book.
We like you.
Everyone's listening today.
Oh man.
Yeah, so Fiona Apple, she does not care about her Grammys. I've gathered over the last couple of weeks that like while she has them, like she does not hesitate to like be critical about the Grammys, which I very much so appreciates. She did an interview where basically she talked about how sort of the hypocrisy of the Recording Academy, because Dr. Luke, I didn't know this, he picked up a couple noms this year because he produced Say So, the Doja Cat song. And I didn't realize this, but he is credited under a alias. This is how that's the right
Alias.
It's okay.
I knew it in here. I just haven't.
It's okay.
It.
It's okay.
But I think it was like Tyson Tracks or something. That was like the name that was credited for it. So like he got nominated, and she did an interview basically saying like it's sort of hypocritical that they did that. And then like I read another TMZ story where she was talking about how like, oh yeah, I don't really care about the Grammys. She's like, yeah, it's cool that I'm nominated, but like I don't care. Like it's fine. Thank God I wasn't nominated for Album of the Year because I don't want Taylor Swift fans to come after me. But like I'm cool. Like I don't care about it. She looked quote. That's not like I didn't make that up. She said that.
Fiona Apple gives off the impression that she just doesn't care. It's like she just don't care.
Or just like she does it for the music.
Yeah. I agree. So
after like casually dropping one of the more widely acclaimed albums of the year.
Well, that's the thing though. It was nominated for Best Alternative, but I was surprised it wasn't nominated for Album of the Year. It wasn't, right? It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. But like nearly every publication was like Fiona Apple as the Album of the Year.
Literally, we looked at every list. It's like literally top 5 at least, like
everywhere.
Probably it has like an average like ranking of like 2.
It'd be like a mostly like hip hop list, and then Fiona Apple.
Fiona Apple on top, exactly. It'd be like, oh okay, so yeah. Fiona Apple, she don't care. She don't care. So, Avery, this is your game though.
I'm enjoying this game.
This is the game Avery's been looking forward to since he was 10.
Yeah.
Wait, Avery, did you get it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing it.
What's your playing experience been?
It's been good. I know people have not had positive experiences due to certain things. Yeah, just because it literally doesn't work. But I've had a good time. I think it's a lot of fun. Like the characters are really cool, so I enjoyed it.
That's what's up. So Grimes Cyberpunk character released an album. Is it in the game? Is it like what's up with that? What do you mean like?
So I haven't played it, but apparently Grimes has a character within the game that released an album with the release of the game, I guess. And like
she plays like this like psycho pop star character in the game that like hits you up to. It's like a side mission that I won't spoil for anyone, but it's one of the more like interesting and messed up side missions that you can do in the game. And the character's name is Lizzie Wizzy. And she's like a chromed out like pop star, and you like basically do a side mission with her. It's really messed up, and so it was really cool. I didn't realize she was played by Grimes till like later, but
I always forget that Grimes is in the game.
yeah,
It's a very fitting game for her though.
it really is. It really is.
It seems like a couple of artists are doing like hidden songs in here. Like A$AP Rocky had a song in here, right? Like that was like a hidden A$AP Rocky songs in here, stuff like that. So
Run the Jewels is in there.
Run the Jewels, of course. Yeah, Run the Jewels is fitting too. So yeah. So
I love that. I love the game music collab thing. I hope that continues. I'm a big fan, because I saw this and I didn't even know. I wasn't entirely too familiar with Grimes prior to this week, but like I immediately saw this headline. I was like, oh well, this feels like it makes sense based on even what I know. Like this seems like a good collaboration.
and I saw it on Apple Music the other day, and I was like, what's this? I was like, did she release another album? But I was like, oh, I didn't read the description, but I see now that it's like from Cyberpunk. So that's what's up. So Dr. Grimes,
That's
good album.
That's Grimes. We're talking about
Well,
her.
her other album, not this album. I haven't heard it, but yeah.
Oh, new releases. There wasn't that many this week. I feel right. Like there
A lot
are
of deluxes.
at least albums. I couldn't find that many, but there. I feel the stuff that did come out was like cool.
Yeah,
Eminem.
it wasn't like a lot of new releases. It was like, yeah. Grant, did you listen to Eminem's album release this year that everybody forgot about?
No, I also forgot about it, and I was like, oh yeah, Eminem did something when I was
still raps. Oh yeah,
He's still around.
he still
But-
makes music.
To be completely transparent, I don't think I've heard any of the albums on the new releases list.
Which honestly, it's not really a high profile week of new releases. This
Yeah,
week.
I would agree. Yeah. I guess my guy. Yeah, my guy Conway the Machine from Kingdom of God. That's just deluxe. I'm more of a, I don't know how you guys feel, but I like deluxe albums, but I'm more of a like the original release, like the concise version of the album, and then I'll like add albums separately as deluxes because I see them as just bonus tracks and like a part of the album. Unless it's like they do a double album and it's meant to be like two things, kind of like Taylor Swift kind of did, but you know, that's kind of my take on it. But yeah.
I think
Rarely interested in bonus tracks. I usually just want to listen to like
The
start
proper
to finish,
album.
the non-deluxe
Yeah,
version.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I miss the days where deluxes were sort of just like 4 extra bonus tracks maybe. Like I don't like this whole new deluxe is gonna be releasing 16 new songs. At that point I'm like, well, you might as well have just saved it and made a new album.
Let's make a new album.
It's just
Like
like
that.
B-sides.
I'm
basically.
overwhelmed now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like either a short album or an hour and 30 minutes album.
Yeah.
No in between. No in between all these albums. This Earth Gang song is pretty cool though. I heard that.
That's good.
Cool.
I liked it.
Yeah, the Earth Gang song. And I'm a big Crit fan. I'm a big Crit fan. Yeah, just the season. It's a holiday song kind of, but not really. So
I listened to Toby Nigwe. That's kind of my guy. He's
that's
on
your guy,
Project
of course.
Spoiler, but yeah.
Ooh, G-Eazy, anybody? Okay.
I did. I will say I got 4 songs into the Eminem deluxe before I was like, this is not. I'm good.
Oh, hey,
It's still safe.
you're
It's
the one who
related.
listened. What were your thoughts based on your 4 songs?
I got to the song where he raps over the old like Alfred Hitchcock theme song, and I was just like, this is whack. Like it's just weird. And I, then I was like, that's enough. Eminem did get a Lyrical Lemonade video, the Cole Bennett video, which is
Okay.
also interesting. Yeah, and it's very coronavirus related, which is really weird.
He's always trying to be topical.
He is always trying. Yeah, so give Eminem that. It's very.
that.
Eminem
Yeah.
feels like the dad that like if you play sports or something like that, he's like the dad that can still kind of play, but he's like, okay, like you want to play with our friends.
But this something cool every now and then. Like he was really good on that Big Sean song on that Friday Night Cypher.
Oh, yeah,
He
that was
really
good.
good on that.
Yeah.
Everything else have not.
Everything else is like,
So
When I think of modern Eminem, I think of when everybody was like, is this a Tyler the Creator diss track?
yeah.
Bon Iver was on it, and Bon Iver's like, I didn't want to be on this song.
Yeah,
And then there was this whole thing.
it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, it was wild.
I still like you, Eminem. You have 3 classics, but
I think
Like-
Eminem's at that level of like kind of icon where you just give us a couple features every now and then, and then maybe every 5 years you drop something if you want, but you can leave us alone a little
see, that's the
bit.
thing
I
though.
feel-
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Avery.
go ahead. I was gonna say, I
Also
feel like
feel
he just like shouldn't release 2 albums in a year.
Yeah,
Right now.
that's the thing. Remember,
You
it
don't
was
need
like
to Eminem albums in a year.
it was
Yeah,
Eminem
exactly.
versus Jay-Z, and Jay-Z has kind of aged more gracefully And
Yeah.
Eminem, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
Jay-Z got Beyonce, so I feel like that.
Okay, no, I'm not talking about how he
better
looks.
music,
I'm not talking about how he looks. I'm talking about
No,
like,
I mean, even in his career, he's been able to do like 2 joint tours, a joint album.
yeah, but I'm talking about his album. Jay-Z's last album is really good. And, exactly.
But something really interesting had to happen in Jay-Z's life for him
True.
to come out with
Something
that.
really interesting had to happen.
Something-
You know, he had to like.
Yeah.
There you
The
go.
last 2 albums, because if you're counting the
Yeah.
Carters too,
Yeah.
he had to like cheat on Beyonce to get the last 2 albums he did. So
Good point.
So some
So
could argue
Eminem,
Jay-Z's
if you-
win is really Beyonce's win, if you think about it. Like some could say, like,
That's true.
Eminem's just like wrapping
got
up the
life.
same stuff he did like 10 years ago.
yeah.
And it's like really not.
Really
Sometimes
fast.
it's like not okay now. So
You know how we talk about formulas is the exact same formula with slightly more topical content, and sometimes you're still kind of bored by the formula, so you're kind
Good
of
point. Good point. Good point.
yeah,
So yeah.
Honestly, I feel like sometimes I think of Eminem as less of a rapper and more so just like a really fast talker.
exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
His flows really have turned into him just rapping fast now.
Well, that's the thing. Eminem wasn't always known for that. Like his first couple albums, he was not rapping fast.
yeah, like
He's like flowing.
Yeah, he was actually rapping. Now you don't know what he's saying.
yeah.
Talks. Yeah, he raps so fast now. Which
It's
was
cool
like
on Rap
cool when I
God,
was in
man.
like middle school, and I was like,
It was-
wow. he's
Yeah, it was
rapping
cool.
fast.
It was cool on Rap God. That's it. You were like, oh my god.
I remember when that song came out.
Yeah.
I was hyped. I was like, ooh, Eminem's killing it.
And now I'm like, wait, did he just say this? Like,
Did
wait,
he? What did he say? Yeah, nah. It's impressive. Good, breath
impressive.
control, but that's about it.
As
So,
someone with asthma, it's pretty respectable. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to breathe that much. That's cool. I wish I could
That's
do
insane.
that.
It's a talent
It's
for
a
sure.
privilege. It really is. Okay, let's go through charts so we can hurry up and go through this discussion because I'm excited about this week. Billboard 200. Shawn Mendes put out an album. I didn't listen. I did listen to one of the songs. I didn't listen to the album though, but that debuted at number 1. Bad Bunny still at number 2 with the Ultimo Tour del Mundo.
I got my Bad Bunny shirt.
Oh,
they
wow.
shout out Bad Bunny.
Shout out Bad Bunny.
Positions number 3 after 6 weeks still. Christmas by Michael Bublé number 4, and then My Gift, Carrie Underwood number 5. So Christmas definitely making its
Okay.
presence.
I swear I logged in this week, y'all. I promise. Like I made it a point. That's why they were pulled up.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh.
I listened to that Shawn Mendes album for last week for our pop thing. So I didn't realize it just came out just not that long ago. But I enjoyed it for what it was. It was cool. The song with Justin Bieber is actually pretty good. So
That song
I
is
enjoyed
good.
it for what it was.
I haven't heard it. I
Yeah.
haven't heard Shawn Mendes. I've heard Positions.
Positions. How you feel about it?
I thought it was okay. I didn't like it as much as like Sweetener or Thinking It.
They felt the same way. They felt the same way.
Sweetener is her best album in my opinion.
That's yeah. Oh.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
They definitely had like the similar sentiment that like it's good, but like it definitely isn't as good as her past like 2 albums. I would
But
say.
I think it's like she set the bar really high on her last 2 albums for this one.
Or just the
There's
run up.
songs
Yeah.
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. We see our Christmas albums are getting back on the charts.
Climbing every week.
Michael Bublé.
Bublé's back in the zeitgeist.
That dude, he can sing though. Like Michael
Yeah.
Bublé,
Insane. Yeah.
that dude can sing. He is an incredible singer. I always think about the SNL skit from way back in the day where it was like, you know what I'm talking about. It was like, he was singing Christmas songs. It'd be like artists that are featured. It was hilarious. But yeah, he can really sing. So yeah. So
There are
So
some
did my-
people's voices I hear that just automatically give me a little bit of serotonin, and I feel like that's Michael Bublé.
I agree.
Oh.
I'm just going on record to
I
say
like
it.
that,
but
yeah.
that's
you know,
fine.
I can
With
get
it.
down to it sometimes.
Nah,
I'm with it.
At least
Michael
it's
Bublé.
Christmas
Michael Bublé
music
can
just makes me happy.
I agree.
So does Mariah Carey not have like an album that gains power at this time of the year?
He does. I just think people go for the song.
Oh, there
That's
it is.
Like,
Okay.
you-
See, right when you said something.
It's right
But like,
there.
see, actually, Avery, you on these unintentional segues. It's getting. If you go to the Hot 100,
You know what I think though? I think she's that one album. She's getting the strength off the one song. Like that
well,
album.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of these
yeah.
Christmas albums are that way, where maybe there's a couple songs that they're known for that get a lot of play. But I think none is more powerful than "All I Want for Christmas Is You," which I would argue may be more popular now than it was when it first came out
I agree.
20-ish years ago.
Probably.
We talk all the time about how this is the first, like it only peaked to number 1 last year. That was the first time it ever went to number 1. And this year, again, it's returning to number 1. It's only been on the chart throughout its entire span for 40 weeks. So that tells you that it gets its power during the 8 weeks of winter. But yeah, that's sitting at number 1. Mood number 2. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, Brenda Lee, number 3. Positions, number 4. Jingle Bell Rock, number 5. So basically, the Hot 100, you can see the songs. Like, it's all Christmas. If you scroll into the top 20, it's like all Christmas songs.
I wonder if by like next week, it's just gonna like the top 5 is just gonna be all Christmas.
I think so.
It probably will be.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the artists who, I said it last week, it's a seasonal bag. They put out a solid Christmas song, and now every year they get a check.
But you guys tell me if I'm wrong though. Like, Christmas albums, the albums that are doing the best are ones that came out like a while ago. Like, these days, artists that put out a Christmas album, they're not like doing that. Well, they're not as popular like the ones that come out now, like a new Christmas album. It's not like, oh my gosh, so-and-so put out a Christmas album. Like, I don't know.
It's kind of just like I like gloss over it if I see it. I'm like, oh, they released a Christmas
Unless it's
album.
like a classic, and like it's like the classic ones. Obviously, Mariah Carey.
Because it's a trend, and I think it's super hard to do. I don't even think that's new. I think this, generally speaking, it's hard to put out a Christmas album that competes with the classics.
Exactly.
Like, if you look back the last like 20, 30 years, I'd argue you probably could find like maybe 4 or 5 Christmas albums that have been created since then that are considered like classics. And you saw them on this chart: Michael Bublé, Mariah Carey, Carrie Underwood, maybe Nat King Cole. The last 20 years, like, yeah,
Carrie Underwood for sure. Yeah.
DC Mustard's put out a Christmas album. I haven't heard it, and I'm a big fan first, but I'm like, I don't need to hear it.
Exactly.
Dallas, right, Avery? Dallas?
She's from Dallas. Golden. Texas.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
What are y'all's favorite Christmas songs?
I mean, This Christmas by Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
That's not Nat King Cole. I'm sorry. What's his name? Crap. Keep talking.
I'm gonna say, I'd say All I Want for Christmas Is You is definitely up there. Sleigh Ride's always been up there.
Donny Hathaway. Sorry. This Christmas.
Let me tell you, my actual favorite since I was a kid Christmas song, I don't think it's on this, but I got it from a Cartoon Network movie. Heard it once, never forgot it. Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer.
Oh, that's a classic.
I get my ukulele and put on the thickest Southern accent I can find, and I like throw that song on and have a good time. Maybe it's on here, who knows? But yeah.
Are you Grant?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Maybe it's just because it's staring me in the face right now. Is All I Want for Christmas Is You. I gotta go with.
That's a safe pick.
Yeah,
good one.
That's a good pick though. It's a good pick too though. It's
hard for me to think of other Christmas songs right now when All I Want for Christmas Is You is just staring at me.
Yeah, it's like, no, me too.
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to be different. I just like, let me pick something different. But yeah, so are we getting into it now?
Well, Avery, you didn't tell me the answer to your question.
Avery, you gotta go.
Oh, I think I love Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC.
Ooh,
that's probably my favorite.
Solid pick. Y'all, there's one more chart I wanted to talk about before we end this, because we never talked about this chart before. So I looked at the rock and alternative charts. Avery, I put a link in the thing there.
Oh, I see.
And it begged the question. Do you remember the VMAs like 5 years ago when Lorde won for Best Rock Album and everybody was like, what did she put out that was a rock song or rock album? I looked at this list and I thought
Grant's face was like,
This is the hot rock alternative songs. It's Mood, 24K Gold, and Therefore I Am. Bang, AJR, which is actually a great song, but I thought it was pop. Come and Go, Juice WRLD, and then I think a Machine Gun Kelly song, Max's Best Friend. And it begged the question, what does rock or alternative mean anymore?
Yeah, I can definitely see Billie Eilish on there, and even Machine Gun Kelly, because that album's like a rock album too, right? It's a rock.
Wait, did we put that on our list? I feel bad.
Yeah, you made a rock album.
You did make a rock album.
Did anybody listen to it?
It's called Tickets to My Downfall, right?
I listened to some of the songs. I liked him more than his rap stuff. But he did not put it on the list.
Yeah.
Did you listen to it, Grant?
I haven't. I've heard some songs, but I do think he's better at making rock music than he is a rapper.
Wow.
I come out with a diss track for Eminem. And then
Eminem take notes,
kind of like it was like either way that like
Eminem's.
And then like as soon as I was done, he like made rock music.
Oh, Exile's on here. Exile's a great song. I was like,
Exile's a good song. Yeah, Exile can see being on there. Yeah, Exile's a good song.
But I literally want to do this because we have never talked about this chart on this podcast, and it's just like, what does this mean? But see, okay, so you start seeing some stuff.
That song is old.
Yeah, that's really old. I think it's just because it's popular on TikTok right now.
That's true. Lord. Yeah, the TikTok kids did find that song.
Grant, are you on TikTok too?
No, but my fiance is, and she shows me all these TikToks, and I'll just in the background, and I'll hear a lot of Sophia by Claro, and so that's I'm like that's
It's such a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly is killing this list. Yeah, Avery's always talking like, why is this song popping? Avery's like, TikTok. I'm like, okay, yeah, makes sense. So,
Every week.
That's what happened to Fleetwood Mac. Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac, there you go. And that album's
That
great.
one dude.
Oh yeah. He got
Okay.
the bag, too.
I think we can get into it. Noah, do you want to do the honors?
The honors, wow. Thanks, Nnamdi. Yeah, guys, getting back to our 2020 year-end wrap-up of the best albums of 2020. We did R&B our first week. I think that went really well. I think people really liked our list. Victoria Monet liked it. Thank you. Last week we did pop, which also was a really solid list, I believe. And now we're doing our alternative rock albums. Yeah, this is really exciting. Another week of listening to a lot of music. This is a good thing too. We kind of get to listen to a lot of music we didn't get a chance to listen to because during the year, music is coming out every week. We kind of get a chance to relax, to kind of look back and listen to some old albums. Not old albums, but older albums this year. So we have a list of about 35 alternative and rock albums. Some might not be necessarily exactly alternative, but that's for us to discuss. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. We're gonna narrow this list of 35 to 5 albums, Grant.
And let's again acknowledge our biases.
All 35 and be like, here are the best 35.
Not at all.
Rank them? Oh my gosh.
No, we definitely couldn't rank them. Not at all. But
yeah, and
I
Grant,
feel like me and Noah again should there's a reason why Grant's here this week and why Avery is probably going to do a little bit more talking.
Yeah.
To this genres, I feel like this is sort of this is probably out of all of us, you two are probably the ones who listen to alternative
and
rock.
We will say, me and Nnamdi this year, I think you would agree, Nnamdi, we've become more aware, and our ears have become more attuned to this music, sure. I would say, which is I'm happy about. So thank you, Avery and Grant too. Thanks, guys. So yeah, and Grant, we're not gonna when we get to the 5, we're not gonna do one. It's just gonna be 5. It's not in no particular. So
the numbers mean nothing on this list.
They mean nothing.
It's just purely how many do we still have here?
Exactly. So
which are my favorite ones.
Exactly. So
there you go.
So guys, how do we want to do it the same we did last week? Kind of go down, or do we want Avery and Grant to go back and forth?
I kind of want Avery and Grant to drive the boat until we get to a place where Noah, we feel validated.
Right, so the way we did it last week was we each went in a turn and took out an album that we think wouldn't make our top 5, and we kept going until we got down to. I think we're gonna get down to 20, right? That's our first goal.
20, exactly. Right. There we go.
Okay.
Keep picking now we don't want to put in the top 5.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just as we narrow it down.
So even if it's good, it's man, that was a good album. But if you don't see it making the top 5, we can just take it out, even if it's still good. So
maybe top 10, because some albums are.
Oh yeah, top 10. Top 10 is when it gets
perhaps
tough.
Top 15. No.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, for sure. So
just all right, this sucks. That sucks. And I'm just kidding.
Well, who's gonna do the read through? No, you didn't want to do that. Avery, do you want to?
That's a lot of albums to read.
40 albums on this.
We'll read through when we get to the top 20. Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, that sounds better.
I do want to say one quick thing. The Beck album, Beck's Hyperspace, is actually from 2019.
Oh,
that's our first elimination. Then
it's not made for Grammys and stuff this year, though. It's always weird how they do that.
Yeah, and some lists I saw this, they based it off of December 2019 to December 2020, so they count albums from December.
Yeah, the Beck album came out the end of November 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't have put it in even if it did come out this year, I probably wouldn't.
There you go.
So what's so upsetting about that is actually the most recent album I've listened to as of an hour and a half ago, and I was about to come on here and be Beck really did his thing on that.
There's some good songs on it, I will say.
So you guys want to start at the bottom?
Is there any other albums anyone notices that came out in 2019? Did Moses
Nnamdi? I mean, you want me to say the obvious? You want me to say the obvious, Nnamdi? Okay, Grant, we must get your opinion, okay?
Wait, well, let me clarify this here.
I would like Avery to do it, please.
Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, no, let me just say first of all, I listened to this album, to this project today, and it's really good. Now, Grant, I have to ask you about this. Phineas Blood Harmony, the original release, came out in 2019, okay? Now, the deluxe came out in 2020 with 2 new songs, and one song is hold on, and one song is a remix, actually. Remember, one song is a remix, essentially.
I don't think that's true. I think it is
a remix. It's the exact same song, and it says 1964 in it. So Grant, I'm just wondering, do you consider this, since the original release came out in 2019, but the deluxe came out in 2020? Do you consider this eligible for the 2020 list? What do you think?
I would probably say it's a 2019 album, just from the standpoint of most of the songs on it are from 2019. I'm sorry, Noah, but that's why you're like, all right, Grant, who's wrong?
So, Phineas, if you're listening to this, just know I tried to get you on this list.
Grant, I'm on your side. Grant, I'm on your side.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
No, you're fine. I'm on your
Blood
side.
Harmony was probably one of my favorite albums last year, and I wanted an excuse to bring it up this week. So I was like, the deluxe came out.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
very good.
bye, Phineas.
That's a great
Wait,
project.
no, congrats.
It's great though. I really enjoyed it a lot. I don't miss it at all.
The rest of these came out in 2020, right?
Yep. So,
Grant, do you see an album on here that you're ready to eliminate?
Probably. Where's Phoebe Bridgers? No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna fight.
Oh, hold up.
Yeah.
Do we all want to put that in the top 5 now?
Well, let's wait.
Yeah,
okay.
well,
I mean, yes, but we can wait.
Okay.
If I had to get rid of one, I there are some of these I haven't listened to. Like I haven't heard the Grace Potter album.
Mhm.
I haven't heard the Neighborhood album. So I'm just gonna go based off ones I have heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
This
Don't
is
think
hard
about it too
because a lot of these are so good. I would probably get rid of The Strokes, The New Abnormal,
Okay.
just because there were songs on it that I liked, but I felt like it was overall just okay,
Mhm.
especially compared to like some of their older stuff. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
Avery, do you
I
concur?
agree. I was seeing that on a lot of people's lists, and I didn't really understand it because I don't think like the whole album was like that. Like there's definitely some good songs on there, but I don't think the whole thing was like that good, personally.
Some people loved it, some
Yeah.
people hated it, and it really felt like if there was one album this year that people either like loved or just absolutely despised, it was probably The Strokes' New Abnormal. But
I agree.
you know,
Noah and
Ode to
Nnamdi.
Death is a good song.
Mhm.
But what's funny about this album too is that there are a couple songs where the melodies or the hooks are so similar to something that's been done before that they had to give writing credits to another artist. Like on the song Bad
Really?
Decisions, it sounds like Billy Idol's Dancing with Myself, and so they had to like credit him because of the guitar lick.
That's
and then,
so.
yeah.
Is that like
And
to
then
avoid
Taking It Over
plagiarism?
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel
so
about that.
weird.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
Strike off
But
the
no.
list.
All right,
You
I'll
want
take them off.
Okay. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So a lot of the albums I feel like I listen to are ones that I feel like are gonna make the top 15. Not like I have incredible music taste or like I'm that good, but there's one I'll take off, and I don't know how people will feel about it. Now it's the second album this year, but Evermore. I feel like we can take that.
I was gonna
off.
say that too. I was gonna say that one.
I listened to it. It's solid. It's really solid. Not better than Folklore though.
No,
And
I agree.
that's not necessarily to a detriment, because even if it's not as good, but it can still be in the top 5. But I think it's just kind of B-sides. It's not as like
It's a B-sides album.
Yeah,
They
it's a
don't
B-side
call it
album,
a
yeah.
B-side, but it's a B-side album.
so I'm fine with taking Taylor Swift Evermore off. So yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Wow, T Swift out the game early.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
she has a whole other
Oh,
album
man.
in there still.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Nnamdi?
Oh, it's me. Okay. Let's see. I listened to a lot on this list. I'm actually quite proud of myself. Let's take out Grimes, because that's a pop album to me. That didn't strike me as
I agree. I'm
I
kind of with that.
understood in its inclusion, but I would call that more of a pop album than I would, I think.
That album is
think
weird as heck, y'all.
It's so good. I think she finished in our top 10 for pop last week.
She did.
Yeah.
There was a song on there that sounded like it could have been like alternative rock album with like the guitar on it. I forgot what it was called though. But then it just went to like a pop sound again. I forgot what the song was though.
Were you thinking of My Name is Dark?
Yeah.
Because that's pretty guitar heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one like that. I was like, oh, this sounds like that, but the whole album as a whole. So I agree with you now.
Wait, Grant, what are your? I feel like you're about to say something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's a pop album. I'm the one who put it on there, but I was just like unsure if like you guys think it's pop or do you think it's like rock / alternative. I could go either way, but I probably wouldn't put it in my top 10. I love the album, but yeah, I think it's okay to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think it like definitely had those elements of rock and like alt, but I like, to me she's like more of a pop star, and it was just like including those elements into her pop music.
Yeah, and I feel like when we took it off the pop list, I feel like it was me. I was like, could this be considered alternative? Maybe we'll just talk about it then too. But I think it is probably more of a. Anyway, yeah, Grimes.
Yeah. She says that's her best album too, but I would say that the 2 albums that came before it are way better. I like Art
really
Angels.
like the one before this.
Huh?
Yep, the one she had like right before this, I really liked.
Yeah, that's Art Angels. It was so
yeah.
good.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. She's a cool artist. She's a weird artist, but she's cool.
Okay, so Avery.
All right, I'm gonna say out of these ones that I've listened to, there are a lot of good ones on here. I'm gonna say Perfume Genius. I liked, again, it's a similar thing to The Strokes, where I liked like a few songs out of it, but I didn't like love the whole thing.
It's really
So-
long.
It is very long.
How long is this
Yeah.
one? How long is this one?
Like over an hour, I'm pretty sure.
Oh Lord. You know I didn't listen.
Yeah, I understand.
I liked. I feel like I think I listened to it because of Avery. I don't know why. I feel like you tell
Avery's
us?
We
mentioned-
talked about it last week too.
Oh yeah,
And I'm pretty sure it's been on a playlist too.
yeah, but it was good.
Yeah, I might put a song or two on there because
Like
it
a
does have
lot.
good songs, but I don't think the whole thing's like super cohesive.
That's a lot
like,
of these
to
were
me.
more than an hour, and anytime you have an album that long, it's gonna be like
It gotta be
both of
perfect.
them.
It has to be perfect. There's a lot of room for error on a long album, so yeah. Okay, Grant, you got one?
All right.
We're gonna start moving
I
through
don't
this.
know why
It gets
this-
fast too. We start going.
God, there's so much pressure. Okay. Let's see. My next one will probably be okay. I really like Bright Eyes, and I really like that album, but it's not one of my favorites on the list, and I think they have better albums. So I think I'm gonna take that one off.
Wow.
Okay, are we?
That's fair.
No, is anyone?
That would it-
or do you
Sorry,
have the
Connor.
majority
Nope.
cool?
Wow.
No, you look like your feelings are hurt.
Well, I'm surprised because Avery's my guy, obviously, and this is one of Avery's favorites this year.
I personally love this album.
All
I don't
right.
think I would put it in my no. I wouldn't put it in my.
Doc, I'm
Top
taking
five?
Bright Eyes off.
I know he just picked Avery's album of the year. He
No,
was
no,
like,
no.
Oh, that was
We'll
your
be
album.
fine.
No, if it's your album of the year, I'll pick something else.
Oh,
No,
no,
it's-
no, no.
it's
We all
nice.
agree. I think Grant,
There's
you and I are in agreement on album of the year. I think, but
Yeah.
I did like this Bright Eyes album a lot. But I'm fine with it being taken
Okay.
out.
Cool.
I'm cool with
That's
it. I do love
I
this
liked it
album.
a lot too.
Okay. Whew. Now, oh man, guys, this is tough. Now I'm going off of albums I've listened to because I don't want to take anything out that I haven't heard. Okay.
Okay, but there may be some stuff on here that we may not have touched on. I'll listen to.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm feeling taking out Joji album. How y'all feel about that?
Wow, really?
I haven't-
Joji?
Up to you.
What'd you say, Grant?
I haven't heard the Joji album.
Okay. It's really cool.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really vibey, I would say, right, guys? Really, Avery Nnamdi is really vibey.
Yeah.
He definitely sounds like, because it's a Lil Yachty on one of the songs.
Yeah.
He
I
definitely
like
sounds
that
like
song
the
a lot too.
He sounds like the rock version of Lil Yachty. Like if Lil Yachty was to do this, he would sound like Joji. But it's first of all, it's long too. It's like 18 songs. But and it was different, but I just feel like it didn't pull it off as well. So I'm cool taking it off. Guys, how do you feel? Nnamdi?
I hate that, but I mean, if I'm on this ship alone, I'm not gonna. If I'm on this hill alone, I'm not gonna fight that hard for it. But I
Avery?
thought Joji's album was great.
There's 2 albums that I'm gonna fight for on this list, and this is not one of them. So
Ooh.
I'm cool with it.
Bye,
Here we
Joji.
go. Well, the
Alright.
one of them that you probably have to fight for, you probably won't have to fight for. So
I probably, I definitely will not.
so yeah.
Finding you on Punisher.
Avery, I think I know what album you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, I think we all know
It
what
might
album
be.
we're talking
Yeah.
It might be in your background. Who knows?
about. Oh. Oh, which album? There's 2. There's 2 on this list. There's 2. Oh. And one of them actually. Oh, okay.
The more you can't see, but
Yeah.
there are on.
Nnamdi.
I'm gonna do the favor that no one's gonna do and just take off the albums I don't think any of us fully got through. So who listened to Hannah by Lomelda? Oh, never mind. Who listens?
It's okay. You can take it off if
There we go.
No, because I don't want to take off an album that I haven't listened to. So let me just go back to what everyone else is doing, because I actually don't know who listened to what.
We can take it off still. It's fine because we got to get through this eventually. So we can take it off.
Well, did anyone listen to?
Grant said he listened to it.
Well, I don't.
Okay, is there? What would you like to give a statement on Hannah by Nnamdi?
Okay.
What's this album about? What's going on with it?
This album is about Hannah.
But are you okay with it being off this list?
It's very kind of like singer-songwritery. It's just like all the music's by one woman, and she wrote everything herself. It's very like indie folky kind of thing. I love it, but I probably wouldn't put it in my top 5 or top 10. So
Sounds like I'd love it.
Take off.
A folky singer-songwriter? That sounds like right up my alley.
That sounds like Avery's dream right there. Avery's like, well, hold on.
Avery, listen to Nnamdi after this.
Avery, let me put this on the
I
list.
have it pulled up, so I'm gonna...
Let me put this on the list.
Avery,
Okay.
Just for fun, what if you also say Grace Potter Daylight, just for just to get the list moving?
I mean, I did not listen to that album, so...
Has anybody listened to it?
I listened to some of the songs. It was cool. It's not going to be my top
If
5.
nobody's listened to it,
I haven't heard of the Grace Potter album.
If nobody's listened to it, we can take it off too. I think that's just fair, because we don't want to be like, So, I mean, obviously, it could be slept on, but okay. Any other albums? Okay. Ooh, what about this Bob Dylan? I've been eyeing that.
That was my next one out personally. I'm not a huge Bob Dylan fan.
I listened to it.
I was gonna put it out eventually.
All right, cool with that.
Grant said I don't want to say it, but
I mean, I like the album, but like, it's not one of the best ones on here, in my opinion.
Ooh, okay, it is getting down to it, and it's getting.
Let's get rid of 4 more.
4 more, okay. Are there 4 more? Because I don't want to get rid of any that I haven't listened to. So are there 4 more you guys see that you deserve to be taken off?
I'm gonna say Porridge Radio. Honestly, I listened to Every Bad, but some of the songs are cool, but I think it just put it be in my top 5, top 10.
Okay.
Wait, who put that on? Because I didn't put that on.
Oh, I did.
Grant was like, I did.
Yeah. No, it's fine. No, I'm just kidding. But
don't take it off.
Yeah.
Okay. We are down to 23. Okay.
All right, what about this Sufjan Stevens album?
That was good. That was so good. No, come on.
Okay, we'll leave it.
That's one of my favorite albums of the year. So
okay, we'll leave it for now.
You didn't look at Grant's list.
I did. I know. I was literally right before I was about to say. I was like, was that on Grant's list? I don't remember.
You didn't look at Grant's list.
I'm gonna leave.
That was one of the few good hour albums.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was long.
Oh,
But I like how long it was personally.
Did anybody listen to? I'm just saying names now. Did anybody listen to Jeff Rosenstock? No Dream.
No, I did. I put it on.
How do you feel, Grant? How do you feel?
I love it, but we can take it off.
Okay, there we go.
It's not my top 10.
Okay.
What about this Eve's Tumor album?
That's on my wall. You can't
Uh-oh.
see it.
Dang, I'm just shooting blanks. Over
Avery's
here.
just.
It's okay.
Avery's taking.
We're almost at 20. Let's get to the ones we've listened to. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, okay, y'all. Avery, I don't think this will be a big deal. Soccer Mommy.
I'm okay with that. I love that album. I think I really like it. But it's all very like low key kind of music.
Yeah, to
It feels
me.
like background music to me.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it sounded. It's not a bad thing too, but it all really much sounded the same. Like, to me, not much difference between tracks unless like you're a big fan of her. You can tell. But for me,
Yeah,
it all kind of flowed together. So
I'm
I
okay
liked
with
her
that.
first album more, but I
Really?
love Color Theory.
is it just me or does she look like FK Twigs kind of? I'm sorry, like she
Yeah,
kind
she
of.
kinda
that's
does.
okay. I mean, she was actually the last concert I ever saw at Cafe Berlin too.
Oh,
Really? Dang, she came to Columbia.
Avery's
Yeah,
like,
she
dang,
played
bro.
it in Falls.
Miss
Oh,
everything.
Avery's like, I just missed out on all the good stuff.
Okay, so I think we need one more, and honestly, I think once we do this, it's gonna get
It's gonna get a lot easier.
Conversation. I'm gonna propose. Wow, this is
Yeah.
kind of. I'm gonna propose Adrian Lunker songs instrumentals.
I know that was on Grant's list.
It was on my list, but that's okay. It's okay.
Wait, Grant, but would that be your top
I'll
5?
take it off. What's that?
Would it be in your top 5?
Not in my top 5. It is in my top 10 though.
Hey, I'm not gonna gun someone else's top 10 when I
But
don't.
that's okay. That's okay.
But
I took Avery's Bright Eyes off earlier, so everything's off the table now.
It's a bloodbath. No, okay, are we cool with this one?
This just got serious.
Yeah.
This is the moment Grant realized we turned on him.
We have a top 20 now. Sorry guys, my dog is crying in the background because she hears dogs. So audio listeners,
I like the ambient.
That's mine. This sounds like Fiona Apple. Oh, it's like
around me.
Fiona Apple album. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you want me to list off the top 20 now? What we got?
Go ahead.
Okay, we have Glass Animals, Dreamland, Fake It Flowers by y'all know what I'm doing. Biaba Doobie. The Slow Rush by Tame Impala, Fetch the Bolt Cutters by Fiona Apple, Chip Chrome and the Monotones, The Neighborhood, Shore by Fleet Foxes, Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers, Folklore by Taylor Swift, Saint Cloud by Waxahachie. I'm sorry, guys. Women in Music Part 3, Haim, correct?
Yeah.
Your Hero Is Not Dead by Westerman, Live Forever by Bartees Strange, The Ascension by Sufjan Stevens, Melee by Dogleg, Lament by Touche Amore, Heaven to a Tortured Mind, Yves Tumor.
We got a lot of weird, hard to pronounce names in here.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say we got some interesting names and album titles. Gray by Moses Sumney, The Passion of by Special Interests, The Flower of Devotion by Dead. Is it Dead?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to think too hard about it. And Have We Met by Destroyer. So there we go. So let's try to get 5 more off.
I have one. I'm ready to take off.
Get it.
This Tame Impala album.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one of their best at all.
It's the worst Tame Impala album.
I agree.
I
Okay,
like
I'm
it,
glad we're in
but
agreement.
I think it's his worst one.
And I thought it was so underwhelming too. I was so excited.
underwhelming.
The only thing I'll
Especially
say about it, because I listened to it, but here's the only takeaway I did have from it was that it reminded me of older Tame Impala stuff, and I don't feel like I'd be able to distinguish between this and some of the older stuff. I don't know.
Also, it came out like
current B-sides, even though he already released the current B-sides.
I feel like it came out like early this year, and I like didn't come back to it, save for one song maybe.
Yeah, maybe I'm probably the youngest Tame Impala listener, but the only album I heard before this was Currents. That's the only other album I heard before this. So, and that's the one with Same Old Mistakes, the Rihanna.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I like this though, but you guys know more than me.
No.
So. Cool.
I have one that I'd like to take off too.
Okay.
I like Folklore, but I would say it's more of a pop album.
Ooh.
So I also wouldn't, even if I did think of it as like an alternative album, I probably wouldn't put it in my top 10.
Wow. Interesting, because Nnamdi has some thoughts. I will say this. We talked about this, Grant, and I feel like you've probably heard this too, but when we listened to this, I was like, wow, she tried to do the Phoebe thing, but not as well, but it's still okay.
I feel like that's.
Yeah, this is accurate. I will say, I'll say, I think Folklore has a lot of high points that are really high.
I agree.
There's also skippable tracks on there for me, and I can't even, I can't flex. Like, that's not true. There's 3 songs I go back for.
Yeah.
Exile and Hoax, and I don't remember the third, so that should tell you what.
Yeah.
I love The Last Great American Dynasty. That's a great song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good album, though, so.
Yeah.
All these albums are good. We're not saying they're bad. All these albums are good for the most part. So yeah. Whew. We ready to get okay. Oh man. Okay. I don't want to. Oh my gosh. Should I go? I feel like I'm already have to go. Okay. Whew. I am nervous, guys, about what I'm about to say. Oh no, I can't do it. Now. Oh dang, this is one of Grant's favorites, so I'm not gonna do it. Can somebody else go?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I mean, yes,
we're all friends here. I think we have to.
Fleet Foxes Shore.
Yeah.
Fleet Foxes Shore. How do you feel?
That's okay.
Grant, you can fight for it.
It's okay. It is one of my. It is in my top 5.
Exactly.
That's okay.
Now I'm cool if we don't take it off too. We can leave it too. We can leave it to him for more discussion. Actually, I feel like it deserves to be in the top 10 since it's in your top 5. We can leave it actually, so that's fine.
Folklore did it.
Okay, we all listen to Folklore and we all were like we could take it off. So yeah. Dang, can somebody else go? Because a lot of these albums I feel like people are gonna fight for it.
I know. I like a lot of these albums now.
So.
I don't even know what I want to take out.
All right. Should I take something off again? I feel I just took off Folklore.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, that was such a dramatic climax.
Dun dun.
The podcast.
It was anticlimactic. We were acting like we were bad. We weren't.
Go ahead, Grant. What you got?
Okay. So, out of what's left, the ones that I have not heard are Glass Animals, The Neighborhood. And I think that's it.
Well,
so I guess one more I would take off. I like the Biba Doobie album, but I feel like it was good in some places, a little clunky in others, and so I feel like it should be taken off.
I'm with you, and I love Biba Doobie. She's so talented.
It was one of the last concerts I ever got to go to.
Oh my God, dang.
That was one of my standout listens.
I was actually I was a real big fan of that one. What do we?
Biaba Doobie.
I like that album more than I like Folklore, and I don't really like Folklore.
I
like Wicked Flowers.
Yeah, it's cool. Funny. I actually I got the album on vinyl before it came out.
Ooh.
Because I think they accidentally sold it to me at the record store. They had it on display.
Oh crap!
I was like, this isn't even out yet, and so I got it, and 2 weeks before it came out.
Yeah, shout out to Biaba Doobie. I found out she's Filipino, so that made it cooler.
Yeah,
She's British, Filipino. Yeah,
I'm cool. I'm cool with it coming out though, because when you listen to a lot of albums like this, I'm looking for albums that really stood out sonically. That were like, wow, they did something a little different here, and those are the ones that stood out to me, and in my head the most. And although good, it didn't stand out sonically more than some of these other albums that I would consider. So
She relies heavily on the nostalgia, like 2000s rock kind of nostalgia.
Like the whole 90s rom-com wave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Nnamdi like it though, so.
Yeah,
but I like 90s
I'm sitting here pouring one out for it. You guys are just further.
Oh, it's a good album. It's a great album, but
that album said a lot.
We have to make hard decisions in this top 18.
For sure. Hard decisions.
So, I've just identified the 2 albums I'll fight for, so that's making this a little bit easier for me.
There you go. That's what you got to do.
It wasn't one of them, but what I will throw a shot at, because I don't remember what order we're going in, but I feel like Noah, you just went correct.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm just gonna go. Then I'm gonna. What if we took out? And look.
Took out what?
Say it.
I think y'all really like the Waxahachie album, right? Because I know y'all two have been talking about that.
Okay. Ooh.
Wait, I don't know. Okay, I thought you were gonna say something else. Okay, wait.
I'm
fine with this. No, I thought you were going with something else, but.
Well, no, the Waxahachie album never released it, but like I said, it came and gone. It was one of those albums that I don't think stood out a ton for me.
Okay.
Grant's like,
That was a close second favorite album of the year for me. And He Lives in Kansas City.
Oh,
wait, I'll pick another one.
Keep it.
I feel like a lot of people, it was kind of like the Strokes' New Abnormal, but to a lesser extent, where like the people who love this album, and there are some others that just didn't really connect with.
So in this category.
Yeah. So,
and I have no shame in saying that I really enjoyed this album because it was short, 11 songs, 40 minutes. So good go.
We can leave it for now. Let's leave it now.
Okay, I gotta ask y'all about one because nobody's discussed this. Okay, Dogleg, Melee.
I really like the album. Not in my top 10.
Cool. I didn't listen to it, so I didn't want to. I was tired of taking clothes with albums I didn't listen to.
No, cool. Because I want to get to ones because there's the ones that we keep bringing up are ones that are like, oh. So I'm gonna talk about ones that it seems like nobody's been talking. So what about this? Huh?
Touche Amore. Did I already talk about that? Did we talk about that already?
Ooh, Touche
Amore.
Yeah. Touche Amore.
Yeah, I really like the album. Also, not in my top 10.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
We're doing good. See, we're
rolling.
Rolling.
All right, we're at 15. We're at 15.
Okay.
Getting all this out of the way.
Yeah. We're getting through it. When we get to top 10, we'll say the albums again. Ooh, what about this Dead Flower of Devotion?
Yeah, we can get rid of it. I was like super into it when it first came out, but rarely revisited it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're getting to it now.
I keep accidentally deleting the numbers. It's really annoying.
It's okay. Google Docs, I know. What about Special Interests, The Passion of?
That's another album I was really into when it came out and rarely revisit.
Oh, wow.
Don't you hate when that happens? You'll see, like, man, this album's gonna be my top 10. And you go back, you're like, oh, it's cool.
See, that's how I felt about the Bright Eyes one. Like, as much as I love it and I listen back to it, yeah, like I listened back to it, I'm like, oh, like this album's really good. But then I just like, it's not something like, it's the first thing that comes to my head. And I'm like, what do I want to listen to right now? You know?
Yeah. And you were ready to fight for it though.
I mean, I have two that are on here that I'm like,
Okay.
I like, we need.
For the record, I have like
one of yours is Avery. Okay, so let's lock in Punisher. Let's get it out of the way. Okay.
Yeah, let's like can we lock in Punisher because like I wasn't gonna like I didn't took because I was like that's gonna be in it anyway, and I was like I'm not gonna fight for it because it's going to be in there. So
let me say like I remember when Punisher. What'd you say, Grant?
I'm just wondering, what are the albums on here that you guys are fighting for?
Okay, Avery, you want to go first?
Yeah, well, Phoebe was one of them, and then the Neighborhoods album, I like absolutely love like so much, and I want it on here.
I'll go next. Ooh, there was a couple on here I really enjoy, and Nnamdi's and Grant gonna be with me, and Nnamdi gonna be with me too. So I wasn't gonna fight for Phoebe, even though I really liked it. I was gonna fight because I was like, that's gonna make it anyway. So the Neighborhood album, I really enjoyed. Avery knows I really enjoyed this album all year. Actually, I didn't recently listen to that. That's one of the albums I've listened to this year a lot. Barty's Strange. Yo, this man,
There it is.
I'm fighting for that. I'm sorry. That album really, I was like, what? Okay, that's one of them. And if there was another one, I'd kind of fight for him half in, half out. It's Glass Animals. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm swinging for Grave by Moses Sumney and probably.
No Barty's Strange, Nnamdi? Seriously?
Okay, well, see, then it's like my number 2 is hard because there's a lot that could be in there because I really liked the Neighborhoods album. I really liked Glass Animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually really liked Time's album. Like, I actually really liked Time's album.
Oh, Time's
That was
album
so
too.
good.
So one of those 3. Oh, Sulfjan Stevens was really good too. And that was long, but that was a really good album. I don't know what my number 2 is, but another number 1. Who didn't go? Who didn't say what?
Grant, what album?
Grant, what are you swinging for?
All right, so yeah, Phoebe's already say. The ones my top 3, I won't say anything, but ones I will fight for, Haim, Barty Strange, probably Waxahachie.
St. Cloud.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some we can get rid of in here.
Okay, so yeah, that takes them out. So like the bottom 3, Yves Tumor, Heaven to a Tortured Mind. Oh, not the bottom 3, not Moses Sumney. And Destroyer, Have We Met?
Moses Alone.
Now he's about to say what the.
So are we cool with getting rid of Eve's Tumor and Destroyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Good.
Ooh, and what about Westerman too?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Cool. So is that 10 right there?
That
we at
should be
10 now?
10. Yeah.
Okay, we're going.
Okay, let's do a quick read through.
Yeah, once Avery, does his thing, we're gonna get to this top 10. Wow, see, look at this. Now this is when it gets tough, Grant. This is when like screaming happens. This is when the screaming matches happen. This album
Then I want Punisher out.
Yep.
Yeah, Nnamdi's gonna make a comment like
That's when Nnamdi would turn into the
No,
villain.
Nnamdi would be like, is Punisher actually that good?
Punisher really a rock album?
Start questioning our sanity here.
Is it
Okay.
actually
So
okay.
our new top 10: Glass Animals, Dreamland, Fetch the Bolt, Fiona Apple, Fetch the Bolt Cutters, The Neighborhood, Chip Croman, The Monotones, Fleet Foxes, Shore, Phoebe Bridgers, Punisher, Waxahachie, St. Cloud, Haim, Woman of Music Part 3, Barty Strange, Live Forever, Sulfjan Stevens, The Ascension, Moses Sumney, Gray.
All right,
Okay.
guys, I got one.
Take out?
And no one mentioned it. And look, all year, I did not understand this album. I can recognize it as a good one.
My.
But I did not get it. I genuinely tried so many times.
Oh no. You gonna get some.
Fiona Apple, Fetch the Bolt Cutters. I do not understand it.
No, this is just our entire music credibility is out the window now.
Our
I
music.
really it made our top 10. I really don't get it. I honestly can will come out in the right hand to God. Do not understand this album. And if someone, Grant, Nnamdi, would love to explain it to me, gladly. would take it.
Can I say this really quickly? Now, listening to this album, I'm surprised you didn't find it really like amazing.
Bro, I don't know what it was.
Because
To me, it sounded like I was listening to a musical.
I gotta ask you this though, Avery. I gotta ask you this, Avery. So, Grant, Avery is a big fan of the Charlie XCX album. How I'm feeling. He loves that album. You do
I
too.
love that.
It was in your top 50. It was in your top 10. You love it too. Now, not necessarily the same premise of like being stuck at home and stuff like that, but the album did give it off the feeling, obviously with the different things, the sounds in the background, people talking, the dog barking and stuff like that, had that same feel, and it sounded, for lack of a better term, really homey, which I think a lot of people like about it because it's really relatable in this sense. So I can definitely see why people love that album very much, and I think it should stay in. I know Avery has his thoughts. But
Well, look, that's fine. I just wanted to put it out there that like I established this earlier in the podcast. I love the singer-songwriter thing, and I wanted to get this album so bad. I gave it so many listens.
chances.
Well, let me say
every
this.
time I was like, I don't.
I will say, I remember when this album came out and everybody was just giving it lavish praise. And there was this one article, I can't remember what like site it was from, but the author was just like, I don't understand why people love this album, and like explain why they didn't get it and why they didn't enjoy it. And like, yeah, that's totally valid. Like if you don't like
I felt like
Fiona
I was
Apple, not
missing
that I
something.
understand why you wouldn't, but if
Like
you
I felt like I was listening to a different album. Even though I it's good. Like I can recognize it being a good album. I
It's
just
not,
like
like,
I felt like
incredible.
there's something missing here. For
Well,
me.
let me say, look, I texted Avery earlier this week, and I was like, Avery, I think I finally get it, because I told Noah that I sounded stupid, but I was like, I listened to it. I didn't listen to it in headphones, because when you have it with headphones, it just sounds like too much. You don't know what's going on. Sorry.
It makes a difference.
I listened to it on my speaker, and I was just chilling, and I slowly started to get it. This album strikes me as like someone who majored in music theory's favorite album. Like it sounds very like critically put together, intentional thought. Like I get why people like it, because I like the instrumentation on some of the songs, how some of it's just kind of weird, and you it's like, what's the structure here? But then you kind of get it midway through the song. After I listened to it, there's actually some songs I like Shamika, fan of that one.
Because good.
Ladies, there's like Ladies something, I like that too. Cosmonauts, I like that too. After re-listening to it enough times and giving my ears enough time to adjust to like whatever it is that's going on in this album, I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting it. It seems like a music snob would say that was the album of the year, the instrumentation, the creativity, that's the vibe I get from it. So while personally I wouldn't throw it on repeat, I do get why it's critically acclaimed. That being said, I'd actually be fine with taking it out of our top 5, because at the end of the day, this is the 97 Demos top 5. Grant, you're part of the 97 Demo.
You
when
are.
I say that, part of our top 5, and none of us really connected with it to that level, then like we don't have to leave it in because everyone else tells us we should leave it in.
Yeah.
Sure.
Protest.
Okay, let me take one out that I feel like might not be as big a protest, even though some of us really love it a lot. Glass Animals.
I would argue with that.
I'm okay with taking. I mean, I haven't heard it.
I think
I have
to
heard
me
the
as a
singles.
as like a big Glass Animals fan, like I've been to their concerts. I think this is their weakest album. And yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll say I really liked it. I really did like this album, but the only reason I'll say okay, you can kind of take it out is because I feel some of it felt poppy, more poppy than I think.
Yeah, it's very poppy. I also think it's their weakest album.
Those, and that's the thing too. The parts of the album that I enjoyed the most were the poppy, bouncier songs the most.
Like it's almost like Coldplay-esque kind of.
It is interesting. Yeah. So I'm cool with taking that out.
Yeah.
Okay, we're down to it. Oh my gosh. Now this is really tough, guys. Oh my gosh. Now I gotta ask you guys. Oh man, these are all in people's like top 10 now. This is like everybody's albums now. Like this is it. This is when it gets tough. Now the Sufjan Stevens album, guys. Talk about it.
Sufjan.
Sufjan. Sorry. Sufjan.
Sufjan.
What is it?
Gone.
Sufjan.
Sufjan.
Yep.
Sufjan. Yeah.
Sufjan. I'm sorry, guys.
Sufjan.
No,
It's
you're good.
Sufjan.
I'm gonna say
Hey man, hey, I know how to. Hey man, I'm gonna sound it out. Sufjan Stevens, The Ascension. How you guys feel about it?
French,
I love it.
Quebec.
I honestly I remember when this came out, it kind of felt like, I feel like this is like my third time saying this now. People either loved it or just didn't care for it. Like Pitchfork didn't best new music it, and I was like, oh, that's a shame. I mean, not that it really matters. Like, why just listen to it yourself and decide whether you like it or not. But yeah, like people critiqued it for being long and boring and dull, where I almost felt like that was like, not that I think it's a boring album, but like the mundanity of it is almost kind of the point. Just because like Sufjan, like in interviews this year, he's like, yeah, I'm such a pessimist now. He's like, I'm just a curmudgeonly old guy who's tired of the world, even though he's only like 40. But it's a very pessimistic album, and I feel like, you know, a lot of people are trying to be optimistic right now, but sometimes you just got to wallow in your sorrows. And I think that's why The Ascension connected with me. Like, I think that's why I like it so much, is because it wasn't afraid to be like, yeah, this whole thing, it just sucks. Like,
yeah.
I reminds me of that because I listened to it yesterday and it was the only album that I repeated, and it wasn't on purpose. I just had it on like sort of the loop thing on Spotify, and it kept on going. And it's one of those, to me, albums you just sort of throw on while you're moving through your day. Granted, I was inside, it was snowing outside, gray skies, like dark, this general feeling, like y'all weren't answering the phone, just by myself, chilling, like, and that was like the mood while I was listening to it. But I will say, it felt like a vibe, sort of, it was very fitting for the moment I think we're in, and I think that's why I liked it, actually.
So it's a mood album, you would say? Mood album.
I get to that.
Okay, so are we leaving it?
Like,
Do we want to take out? Okay.
I would say if you want to take it off, I think there are two.
You don't have to give in to them, Grant.
If I'm just saying off the top of my head, there are two Sufjan albums I can think of that, in my opinion, are, and this just speaks to how good The Ascension is, are way better than The Ascension, and that's Illinois and Carrie and Lowell.
Illinois is so good.
Yeah, I feel like those two albums, as much as I love The Ascension, run laps around it. And I also wouldn't put it in my top 5. It's in my top 10, but it's not my top 5.
Okay. So we're cool with taking it out? Because we have to get to that point now where it's like,
yeah,
we have to do it eventually.
So I want to play Fleet Fox's Shore. It's not in my top 5. And I thought it was kind of boring after a couple songs. So defend it. Someone talk about it.
Okay. I'm a massive Fleet Foxes fan.
Wait,
this was we were talking about surprise albums last week. This is like a surprise album. This is a true surprise album.
It just came out
on the Equinox on a Tuesday, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's this random Fleet Foxes album doing on Tuesday? We haven't had a new Fleet Foxes album in 3 years," and it just came out of absolutely nowhere. And on top of that, it was really good too. Like, I feel like usually a lot of surprise drops, unless you're, you know, aside from a select few, like, surprise drops are like, oh, it came out, and then everyone forgets about it. I feel like this one kind of had staying power just because the songs were so good, and it felt very comforting and homey to me listening to it, especially in the fall. It is in my top 5, but I love the other albums that surround it. I'm okay with taking it
At this point, we just have to take out 3 to get to the top 5. So we talked about it. Do we want to take out Fiona Apple? Do we want to take it out? Seriously, do we want to take it out? Avery's like, yes.
Look, I'm cool with it. It's up to everyone else.
I will say, since I'm sound like such a hater, if I had to say which album I think I liked more between The Shore and Fetch the Bolt Cutters.
Like Fetch the Bolt Cutter better.
You can maybe Fetch the Bolt Cutter. Because I don't think I connected with Shore. I don't think I got
I agree. I connect more with Fiona Apple's project more personally.
I think as someone who actually enjoyed Shore more than Fetch the Bolt Cutters, I think Fetch the Bolt Cutters deserves to stay in more than Shore.
Ooh.
Which is kind of a weird paradoxical thing to say, but like,
I get that.
Fetch the Bolt Cutters was so much more of a 2020 album than Shore. And Fiona Apple, like, this album was so like important and like significant. I feel like it deserves to be in the top 5.
Okay, that's fair. I can see that. He's trying to be unbiased because, you know, sometimes you're a big fan of an artist. Like, I love this album. Like, I don't know, it's me with like who's saying Brent Fires or something like that. I'm like, I love this album. It might not be incredible, but it's incredible to me. But like, I'm okay with it being out. So yeah.
All right.
Okay. Now we're down to 7. Okay, now this, I'm gonna do the opposite. There's an album I feel like we should put in the top 5. Okay. You want to say it? Time. Women in Music Part 3.
Yeah, I completely.
That
agree.
was a really no. Did you listen to that album?
Yes. Ooh.
That was I had like I look. I will say I listened to Haim tracks
Avery, you
before
good?
she
Avery, you
had
good? We good?
Yeah, I really like this album. Yeah,
I liked
I
it a
think
lot.
for like magnum opus, it's so good.
Well,
It's
so good.
like
in my
jazz
top three.
influences in it.
Yeah.
That's not almost R&B-ish. There was
Well, that's the thing though. You guys know me. I love instrumental albums and I love musicality. And when that first track came on, it was on some jazz stuff. I was like, ooh, what
Los
is
Angeles,
this?
right? Oh, so good.
Yeah,
Man, when the intro.
album
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, now, another. Do you guys have thoughts? I have another one I want to put in, but
No, let's take out.
No.
Let's take out.
okay.
Wait,
okay.
no, Noah, go ahead. I think I know what you're about to do. Go ahead.
I think I know too.
You know what I'm about to say? What I want to keep in?
I think so.
You want to keep it in forever?
Oh, there's two actually. Ooh, okay. Do we want to keep in Barty Strange?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I'm cool with that.
thought that's what you're gonna say. I am perfectly good with that.
Okay, I was gonna say something else, but I'm cool with that too.
Wait,
Oh, but
hold on.
no,
Wait. Just wait. And here's what we should take out first.
Okay.
New Barty Strange, and we basically said Fiona Apple out of respect should be in the top 5. That leaves one spot between Moses Sumney, The Neighborhood, and Waxahachie. And I'm telling you now, Moses Sumney is the one album I am swinging hard for because I love that album. I love Gray. I thought it was great. Only album from this list that I thought had no skips. Whole thing.
Only
listened to
album
many times.
on this list.
I loved it. Genuinely loved that album.
Avery.
So I won't be a fan of you putting.
I know Noah and I want to keep The Neighborhood in.
Yeah, I'm cool with it coming out.
Wait, what?
I'm cool with the
I need you on my side.
I am on your side. Oh.
Yeah.
You see, that's the thing though. See, okay, Avery can speak to this, but I genuinely, and this, sometimes I'm like, it's not my stuff, but I understand it. I genuinely enjoyed the Neighborhood album as an album by itself. I saved it in my library. It takes a lot for me to do that sometimes. Wow, God, Lee, this is tough.
No, it was so. Did you at least listen to Gray when Ashley? You get halfway through, and I feel
Yeah,
like,
I didn't. Okay, I didn't listen to Gray, so it's up to you three. Do you guys want to keep it in?
I don't think I like Gray as much as Grant and Nnamdi do.
And I don't think I like Gray as much as Nnamdi does.
Oh, so
Wow.
to me,
I will say I love Gray, but it wasn't in my top 10.
oh,
But
This
I
is a
feel like
lie down alone.
the album, regardless, was very, very good.
wow.
I haven't heard the Neighborhood album. I mean, I know who the Neighborhood is. I've heard their albums before, just not this one. So I feel like I can't really say, but I feel like based off songs that I've heard, I feel like Moses Sumney probably has the better album.
Ooh.
All I need. Grant. I'm okay with that.
At
Grant.
first, I thought he was on our side, Avery.
Grant,
And then-
yeah.
I thought the needle was coming
He was
my way.
like,
and
it's
then
not
just
in my
went-
top 10. I was like,
Grant.
oh.
Grant.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was like,
well,
and then he was like,
no one's defending Waxahachie this hard. So
Yeah, that's true.
But Grant, we haven't tried to take
That's
it out
Grant's
there.
number 2 album of the year, bro. That's Grant's number 2 album.
Because if I'm the only one who really connected with it, then
Okay.
I'm outnumbered and we have to take it off. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It comes down to that sometimes.
I wish I was there.
Nnamdi, that is often Nnamdi on this podcast. Nnamdi's like, JoJo. Nah, get it out of here. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Okay, what are we down? We need one more album to come out.
Okay.
I want us to have a conversation about Fiona Apple again.
I agree. I agree.
I think Fiona Apple deserves to stay. I think she has
Too.
to stay.
I think she has to stay, too.
Oh my
I think the album is too important. I agree. And honestly, I think we're picking between because, hey, guys, ask me this. Barty Strange, somebody has strong feelings against that album, right? Nobody's like, I don't get it. Nobody has strong feelings.
They have it behind you right now.
I mean, I just want Moses Sumney more than I want Barty Strange. But granted, I didn't listen to all of Barty Strange. So I feel like I'm kind of muffled in talking about that right now.
So I'll just say what I love about the Barty Strange album.
Yeah, go ahead. We haven't talked about it.
Each song is like its own genre mixed with other genre. Like, okay, I feel like sometimes it can almost be a little cliche when artists just mix a ton of genres together. But I feel like Barty Strange did it, like he executed it so well that it was all so seamless and not jarring. and that each song feels like its own separate story, but interwoven together. And I feel like, and this is his first album too. Like that's pretty incredible.
I was gonna ask you too about whether he had previous work, because you often hear rappers talk that now. You often hear rappers say, "I'm gonna do rock," or "I'm gonna try the indie rock or alternative thing," and it's terrible. Now, Barty Strange, obviously, he doesn't have any other music, but he sounds like a guy, because there's songs in here that are almost like he's almost rapping, I would say. But it sounds like he lives in that realm, but he does it super well. Like Kelly Rowland is oh my gosh.
Oh
and
yeah.
Moss Blurred, whoo, like Nnamdi. I have strong feelings about Barty Strange and Neighborhood, but I feel like Barty Strange dang near got to make it because of just how creative it was and how different it is, and it's great too.
Why would you just listen to Gray when I actually listen to Gray?
Man, you told me to listen to it 30 minutes before the podcast.
I love it. It's my project of the week too. Remember?
But no, I just feel like you would have got it if you just listened to some of the songs. You would have just got it.
Well, it's between you guys three. So, what do you guys feel, Avery?
How did Haim even get locked in? It's like
Haim is in. Chill out.
I thought you were the one who suggested it.
That was me. We just need one more out, guys.
No, because it's basically between you two and the Neighborhood against me and Gray. And I didn't connect to the Neighborhood had good songs to me, but it had songs that I skipped. And Gray did it. So it was just very difficult.
I'll vouch for Moses Sumney over the Neighborhood.
Hey, Avery, we gotta
I think I have to we'll make the tough decision. I'll concede here for the betterment of our list.
Avery knows how Nnamdi feels now.
You know what? It's fine. I'm okay with it. We can axe the Neighborhood here.
Wow.
Wow.
Honestly, this might be the toughest decision I've made this year. That's saying a lot.
Avery's saying a lot.
Avery's not gonna talk to me for 3 days.
And Avery, this is me. This is thing too, Avery. Like, I love that album. That's the album I've listened to on this list more than any other album this year.
Probably the same. List. Well, second for me. But
well, yeah, of course. Okay, the obvious. But I'm saying for me. So,
all right, we
got a list. Hey, take those numbers off.
I feel like everyone got something in though, because at the end of the day, Avery got Punisher. Noah, you got.
I don't even want to hear it.
Party Strings.
I love all 5 of these.
These are all great albums.
Quality list.
I think it's a good list.
So I just think it's really funny that we put Fiona Apple on here out of respect, but still,
I can't
that speaks to the album. That speaks to the strength of the album. That we're like, look, we didn't get respect.
And we all get an honorable mention. So, Avery, do you want to list off the 97 demo best alternative / rock albums of 2020?
Yeah, it's our best.
First, or do you list off first?
You want to do?
Do we all want to name an honorable mention?
Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna go with Neighborhood. So we can all have the same honorable mention. So I'm just gonna go with the Neighborhood. So yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Avery.
That's mine. It's mine. That's my honorable mention.
So
Nnamdi, Grant, what are y'all's honorable mentions?
I'm Waxahachie St. Cloud.
Nnamdi.
Guys, I think I may have to go. I'm in between Sufjan Stevens, The Ascension, and Biaba Doobie, and I think I'm gonna go Sufjan Stevens, The Ascension.
Okay.
I'll board the Sufjan train.
Y'all need to talk to my brother. He's a massive.
He was my most listened to artist of the year on Spotify, and it said you're in the top 0.1% of the top Sufjan Stevens listeners, and I'm like, am I just like depressed then? Like,
just sad.
I'm just sad.
Okay. Avery.
All right. So our 5 best alternative / rock albums of 2020 are Fiona Apple, Fetch the Bolt Cutters, Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher, Haim, Women in Music Part 3, Barty Strange, Live Forever, and Moses Sumney, Gray.
That's a good list.
A solid list here. We have a good list here.
Honorable mention. There's some salt in Avery's voice, but we go.
Look, for the rest of this, like literally my goal for the rest of this year is to try and understand this Fiona Apple album. I'm gonna do.
We'll come back next year, like guys, I get it. We got it right.
Maybe it'll come to me one night while I'm sleeping, and I'll just like.
And the honorable mentions we have are The Neighborhood, Chip Chrome and the Monotones. I love that name. Waxahachie, St. Cloud, and Sufjan.
There you
go. Sufjan Stevens, The Ascension. So,
all All right, so how does our top 5 or our 5 best here compare to how the Grammys classified their?
I think alternative we kind of killed it, but rock we didn't even touch. So like the Grammys, the Grammys nominees for best alternative at least were Fetch the Bolt Cutters, Fiona Apple, Hyperspace, Beck, Punisher, Phoebe Bridges, Jamie, Brittany Howard, and The Slowers, Tame Impala. Tame Impala, for all intents and purposes, Beck didn't come out this year, right? So we don't.
Did Brittany Howard come out this year?
Came out last year. But that was one of my favorite albums of last year.
Yeah, she's great.
What do you guys think's gonna win it? We already know
Fiona Apple probably.
Low-key,
yeah, she'll probably win
I believe that the Recording Academy is a
Nnamdi.
political institution. Hold on, hear me out.
Well, the salt that Fiona Apple's throwing.
Be like, I'm gonna give it to Phoebe. You know, if you don't care.
This
sure.
is the thing though, Nnamdi. This is so crazy.
Definitely.
Literally, every list we went on, we're like, wow, Phoebe's number 3. Number 1 or 2 was like
Bro,
Fiona.
every time Phoebe Bridgers was high on a list, it was like Fiona Apple's like right.
How do you?
below.
Everybody's like, no way, Fiona Apple. No way, Phoebe. No album's higher than Phoebe. And it's Fiona Apple. Like,
Do you want to know what other album was on a lot of those lists?
what?
After Hours by the Weekend, he didn't get a single nom. So
That was
true.
That was a straight up blasphemy
I
almost.
never listened to the whole album, but I love Blinding Lights.
It's so good.
it's like,
Uh-oh.
Do you
Okay.
even want to read the best rock nominees since we did?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
want me to read it? Okay, hold on. Okay, A Hero's Death by Fontaine DC Kuwanaku Nuka. How you guys say it? Michael Kuwanica. Daylight by Grace Potter. Sound and Fury by Sturgill Simpson, and The New Abnormal by The Strokes. So.
And we had none of those. We
had
considered
the
Daylight
Strokes and Grace Potter.
Yeah, and the alternate. Oh yeah, we already named the alternative albums. Okay, good job, guys. That was it was tough, but we get it.
Good list
So
here.
now it's time for our favorite and the one I often for the segment of the week, the one I often forget, Project of the Week. And I'm actually liking this lineup. Avery, do you want to go? Go ahead and go first. With the actually
Have our
I'll let
guest.
Grant go first.
Have our
Yeah,
guest
let's let our
go
guest-
first.
Just look at that pick.
Yeah, Grant, just say how you feel about it.
Good.
Name some standout songs.
Good. Avery, I love Courtney Barnett, and I love that album. So I
I'm a
appreciate
stan.
that.
I'm a Courtney Barnett stan.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
Stan.
I guess I picked Moses Sumney because I listened to the album I think like 3 times this past week, and it's long, so it's total run time. It's pretty high.
That's like 5 hours of music right there.
Yeah. But I love this album. Like I said earlier, it took me a while to really like get it and appreciate it. I liked it when I first heard it. I think back in like the spring when it came out is when it released. I liked it then. Didn't really re-listen to it a whole lot over the summer or even like super recently, but I don't know, December kicked in and I was like, I haven't heard that Moses Sumney album in quite a while. And so I've been listening to it a lot, and I feel like every time I listen to it, I just end up liking it more. And so that's why I picked it. There you go. Yeah.
I think we must spend more time with it because I did really enjoy it every time I listened to it. So
Yeah. It really is just, I think, an album you have to spend more time with to fully appreciate it.
Avery, you want to go?
yeah, we were listening to a lot of obviously rock and alt albums this week. So then I just kind of got in that mindset to listen to those songs, and so I just went back and listened to some of my favorite ones. And Tell Me How You Really Feel by Courtney Barnett. It's her second full-length album, I think. Yeah, so she comes out. She had that EP in like 2014, and then had that album with Kurt Vile, I think, right before this. But yeah, this album's really good. It has like one of my favorite lyrics of all time, which just sounds like a diss. I think she says, "I could eat a bowl of alphabet soup and still spit out better words than you." So ours. So yeah, I love Courtney Barnett. She's amazing. So yeah.
All right.
Great.
Noah, tell me about Diamond District.
Well, you were next, but okay.
You weren't going in an order. You went
You
from
too. Good point.
Grant to
Diamond District, March on Washington. Now this is a rap group out of the DMV, obviously, featuring Odyssey, Uptown XO, and YU. Odyssey is like a underground rap all-star. He's produced a lot of big time artists. This is a 2014 album. They only have 2 projects. They're all like individual artists, but they come together for this like Voltron. This is their 2014 album, only their second album together. and this album is really incredible. I would say it's not your typical rap album. I really I think you guys should really give it a listen. There's a lot of musicality in this. The beats are really different. I would say not something typical of you hear from a rap album. So yeah. And Odyssey is a rapper and he's a producer too. So he raps and produces on this. He's like the main guy, I would say. But yeah, Diamond District, March on Washington. Shout out to DMV. So yeah.
And I went ahead and chose Cinco Originals by my boy Toby Nigwe. I feel like I haven't talked about him enough on this podcast, but he's a up-and-coming rapper. Shout out to Texas, and I'm not saying a city because I get the two mixed up and I don't even want to risk getting it wrong, but either Houston or Dallas.
I think it's Houston. I think it's
pretty
Houston.
sure.
I want to say Houston, but the last time I did that, and got stomped almost.
I think it's Houston.
But yeah, this album's really good. A lot of good singles. It's short, 48 minutes, 14 songs. Wildlings, I think I had on one of our playlists when it came out. But give that a listen. It's a pretty good album. Shout out to Nigwe, and I expect that we'll be talking more about him next year because I think he may put more things out. So
from Houston, there you go.
From Houston, there we go. From Houston, and I like this project of the week. I feel like there was a good variety here. But yeah, you guys, we did it. That was about an hour, but we nailed down our top 5 rock alternative albums. If you don't want to listen to this, if you, even though you probably already made it this far, we're going to put out a playlist, 97 Demo playlist based off of these songs, the top alternative rock songs of 2020, in addition to our regular new releases / our favorite playlist. So expect 2 of those to come out Monday and Wednesday, respectively. Grant, a huge shout out to you for joining us again, our first guest and last guest of 2020.
Hey Grant, what's your social so the people can follow you on Twitter, whatnot, and Instagram?
It is Grant Sharpies.
That's the best name. I love it.
Grant Sharpless was taken. There's another one for me out there somewhere. But that's so I was just like
another you.
That's my last name all the time, so I decided to make it Sharpies.
Has somebody ever called you, hey, Mr. Sharpies? Has somebody ever done that?
That's how I got the idea. People
hey, Mr. Sharpie.
A lot of it's Sharples, a lot of it's sharp. Some Sharpies. One angry commenter used an expletive in my name.
Oh.
Yeah. But honestly, thanks for creativity.
Wait, so. Grant, how do you, what's the actual pronunciation? Just,
Sharpless.
Sharpless.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I know. Because it's like saying apples is appless. It's just wrong.
Appless.
Yeah. I don't know what my ancestors were thinking.
I'm gonna start saying that now. Appless. I'm gonna get some appless.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But Grant, thank you for joining us then. And I guess that does it for this episode of the 97 Demo. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at the 97 Demo. Share us. We're on all streaming platforms at this point. And we'll see you next week.